Good morning, everybody. Here is Professor Dr. JVN Dr. R.K. Patni, Dean, Faculty of Law and Governance, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today we are going to discuss about negligence, contributory negligence and composite negligence under the law of torts in the Faculty of Law and Governance. Consider the following case and decide if it belongs to the scope of contract law or is it a tortious wrongdoing. Mrs. Walker was in the supermarket picking up one or two things for dinner. She walked around the corner from the cheese display into the bakery ashtray and slipped on something on the floor. This later turned out to be yogurt. She fell and her right arm got painfully caught in the basket she was carrying. The basket wrapped itself around her arm, and as she fell, she experienced significant pain in her right arm and shoulder, and this did not improve overnight. Therefore, she went to see her doctor, who referred her to the hospital for physiotherapy and put her on a course of painkillers. X-rays taken at the hospital showed that she had sustained damage to her arm and shoulder muscles. Number 1. What type of tort was committed? List your reasons. Second, could the supermarket have foreseen and prevented the accident? Did they owe any kind of duty to Mrs. Walker? How was this duty breached? 4. Would she have fallen if the floor had been cleaned regularly? Is there cause and effect connection between the spilled yogurt and her fall? 5. Has she suffered any damage? Is it provable? Failure to exercise the care towards others which a reasonable or prudent person would do in the circumstances, or taking action which such a reasonable person would not. 2 types of negligence. Reproduction here as shown from the figure itself, that is a civil, minor personal injury and property damaged. Second is criminal, results in death where there was no intention of injury. Elements of negligence claim. Breach of duty on the part of the defendant. A. Duty of care towards a plaintiff / claimant. B. Causation, cause and effect connection between the breach and the harm. C. Damage, injury or harm as a consequence of the breach. Duty of care. A person owes a duty of care to another where the reasonable person would foresee that the other will be exposed to the risk of injury. For example, a driver of a vehicle owes a duty to anyone within the area of risk when moving. Other road users, pedestrians, the owner of adjacent land and buildings. Lord Atkin in Donoghue vs. Stevenson 1932 said, "You must take reasonable care to avoid acts or omissions which you can reasonably foresee would be likely to injure your neighbor. Who then in law is my neighbor? The answer seems to be persons who are so closely and directly affected by my act that I ought reasonably to have them in contemplation as being so affected when I am directing my mind to the acts or omissions which are called in question. Breach of duty. Now, here it has been seen by a graphical representation, a photo. Then we have unreasonable running a risk and harming to the others or there. A two-stage inquiry is required. Number one, factual causation. The defendant is held liable if the particular acts or omissions were the cause of the loss or damage sustained. Basic test of causation, but for the defendant's act, would the harm have occurred? Would you be harmed without my breach of duty? If no, I am liable. Second legal question is the doctrine of proximate cause. The defendant is liable only for the foreseeable consequences of his or her act. That is, remoteness is to be considered. An event must be sufficiently related to an injury to be held to be cause of that injury. Was the chain of causation broken? Provable injury. A precondition for successful negligence suits, that is, damage may be A. Physical, that is personal injury, B. Economic, pure financial loss, C. Both financial loss of earnings consequent to a personal injury, D. Reputational in a defamation case, E. Emotional distress. A sum of money awarded by the court for harm suffered by the plaintiff/claimant. General damage, compensation for the pain and suffering caused by negligence. Special damages, compensation for the past and the future financial loss, including loss of earnings. Further, it has been shown by a photo which says that wait this once a liar, we would better wash our hands. Now discuss the case. Is negligence involved? The name of the case is Parkscraft versus Long Island RR Company NY 1928. Facts. Mrs. Parkscraft was standing on a Long Island Railroad D train platform when two men ran to catch a train. The second man was carrying a small package containing fireworks. He was helped aboard the train by one guard on the platform and another on the train. The man dropped the package, which exploded when it hit the tracks. The shock of the explosion caused scales at the other end of the platform many feet away to fall, striking and injuring Parkscraft. Parkscraft brought a personal injury lawsuit against Long Island Railroad and the railroad appealed the court's judgment in favor of Parkscraft. The judgment was affirmed on appeal and Long Island Railroad appealed. The issues were: how is the duty of due care that is owed determined? To whom does a party owe the duty of due care? A duty that is owed must be determined from the risk that can reasonably be foreseen under these circumstances. A defendant owes a duty of care only to those who are in the reasonably foreseeable zone of danger. the court held that the conduct of Long Island Railroad's guard was wrongful in relation to the man carrying the parcel, but not in relation to the Palsgraf standing far away. No one was on notice that the package contained fireworks which when dropped could harm a person as far from the zone of danger as Palsgraf. To find negligence, there must first be a finding that a duty was owed and breached, and that the injury could have been avoided if the defendant had been following that duty. The orbit of the danger or risk associated with a danger or risk is that which a reasonable person would foresee. Even if the guard had intentionally taken the package and thrown it, he would not have threatened Palsgraf's safety from the appearance of the circumstances to a reasonable person. Long Island Railroad's liability for